the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning and welcome to INCRadio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. I am Sister Elisa Mojica, your host for this morning. Today is Saturday, November 23, 10:31 a.m. Yes, that's correct. We are starting our show at 10:30 from now on, every Saturday. So before we continue, I'd like to greet those in the chat this morning. So we have Sister Nidel Ibarra, we have Sister Grace, we have Brother Alberto Santos, Brother Keith Oterio, Sister Leigh Watley, Sister Christina Lazaro, Sister Amelia Salazar. So good morning to everyone. So for our discussion today, we will be covering the basics of volleyball, what we need to know to start, and what our mindset should be while we're on the court. And we'll also talk about our district's volleyball tournament. So before we get into our main discussion, let's start off today with an icebreaker. So if Brother Tech can show the first unscrambled, if Brother Tech can show the first scrambled word, there we go. So we have SSDSICNODU. So before we ask our panelists here today, I want to see if our chat knows. So Brother Marvin is our guest this morning. You have any idea yet of what this word could be, brother?
I'm actually having a difficult time unscrambling this word, sister.
Oh, that's good. I like to make it difficult for everyone. I like to make sure to use pretty big words, I guess, long words, just so people can get to thinking. We have Sister Nidel saying, Any ideas yet, Brother Marvin?
There's just so many consonants and not enough vowels. I don't know why it's hard for me to comprehend this morning.
So, a hint, it's something we are doing right now.
Oh, I think it's discussion.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Correct.
Okay, great.
And so we have the next word. We have the next word. Yes, so that's discussion. Correct. We also have Brother Christian Agron with the correct answer and Sister Christina Lazaro. And so for this next one, we have NTEMNARTOU. Let's see, Brother Marvin, any ideas?
I will keep thinking.
Okay. I'll also let the chat think about it. So this will be our last word so we can get into our discussion because this is actually... Oh, we have Sister Kristen Numo. She said, wait, are you ready, Brother Marvin? You have any idea?
I would like to get some help, if that's great.
We have Sister Kristen Numo and Brother Jarek Lamagna. They said tournament.
Oh, okay, great.
All right. It doesn't look like it. And we also have Sister Grace say temperature. That's actually pretty... I see it, but it's tournament. Okay, that was a fun little icebreaker. Thank you to the chat that joined us. Now let's get into our discussion. Brother Marvin, would you like to introduce yourself, your name, and your local congregation?
Sure. Thank you, Sister Elisa, for having me this morning for the show. My name is Brother Marvin Neil Sabas, for those of you who do not know me, and I'm from the local congregation of Anne Arundel in our Unstoppable district.
Ooh, Unstoppable District. So, our topic this morning is volleyball. So, I want to know, how long have you been playing volleyball?
I've been playing volleyball since the year 2014. I started my sophomore year of high school, so it's been a while now since I've started.
Wow, it's really been a while, 2014. So, what made you get into volleyball? Was it something like you saw someone playing it? Was there like a click? Oh, I want to try a new sport, maybe volleyball. So, how did it
Actually,
start?
yeah, that's a great question. I had a combination of that. I think the main inspiration for me to try something new was to get into a new sport. And at the time, our high school did not have a men's volleyball program. So, what better way to leave a legacy for what I could be remembered for by starting that program alongside my friends and my peers at that time?
Oh, nice. And with that, your peers and you, did you all start with knowing a little bit of something or not at all?
With that group, when I look back at it, everyone was starting from scratch, essentially, starting from level one. So that's what made the process very memorable for all of us, since we were not only starting a new program, none of us knew how to play volleyball initially. We'd had seen Olympic games or college games and thought it would be an interesting and fun sport to start.
Mm. And starting from the beginning, when you want, if someone is interested in volleyball, what are the basics in volleyball if someone wants to start? Let's start with the gear or equipment.
Sure. So, what with anything when you're trying to start a new hobby, the important thing is to actually put yourself out there, no matter what skill level you are. And in terms of the gear that you would want as a beginner, I would strongly suggest obviously a volleyball so that you could start applying your skills. Now, it depends on what you're interested in because there are actually different types of volleyballs. There are indoor ones, there are outdoor ones, and there are actually beach volleyballs. So
Oh.
something to consider, whatever you'd like to try out. And on top of that, having different types of equipment like the correct shoes would be very helpful if you're playing indoor, and having knee pads if you'd like to improve your skills as a passer, but you also don't want your knees to hurt and scrape on the court. And for those that are on the older side, like myself, maybe you might need knee compression sleeves so that your knees can maintain their strength over time.
Mm. And you talking about how you're getting older. Let's talk about stretches, just so our muscles won't hurt when we're on that court.
That was such a great segue. So, this topic of stretching, it's very important to do dynamic types of stretches. So, dynamic stretches involve movement of your body where you're actively targeting multiple muscle groups in a non-static way. So things like squats, because you're engaging your lower body a lot in this sport. And for those that play in the front row or use their arms on the front row very often, using anything that rotates your shoulders or engaging your upper body, your upper shoulders, that would be my recommendation for stretches.
Oh, great tips. So, with now that we know the basics in volleyball and where to start, what are the basic rules of volleyball that we need to know, such as how many players do we need and how's the rotation and the serving and the faults?
Sure, I'll try to keep the most important and simple rules established. So, the game of volleyball, it falls down to one simple rule. Don't let the ball hit the floor on your side of the court, because that means the opposing team scored the point for that rally. And on top of that, you want to make sure that you always maintain a team of six every time you play on a court. So whenever a game is taking place, again, these rules I'm talking about indoor, because for beach they have different rules. For outdoor there are different rules, but for indoor there are six players on each side. And generally it's a best of three or a best of five. And whatever team reaches 25 points first wins.
Oh, nice. And what about when the only thing I know about volleyball is, yeah, you can't let it touch the ground and you have to say mine, correct?
That's a great habit. So whoever told you that, or if you've observed that, they are correct.
Okay, got it. So I'll take note of that. At least I know a little bit of volleyball. So we actually have our Washington D.C. tournament, volleyball tournament. So that's a very exciting activity. I love being in these kinds of activities, just watching everyone play their favorite sport. So, Brother Marvin, how often did you practice before the activity? Also, by the way, if we can show Brother Marvin's photos and videos on air for our brother Tech. Okay, so yes, Brother Marvin, how often did you practice before the activity?
Well, specifically for this month, wow, look at those memories playing. It's nice to see that. I would like to practice more often for sure. I've only been able to practice maybe like once a week for this month's district volleyball tournaments. In general, what you want to do is just do some sort of exercise leading up to it so that your body isn't going from 0 to 100 on our district activities. So, yeah, whatever time a person can fit practicing or exercising into their schedule, that's my recommendation.
Mm-hmm. And within these games, what aspects of your game went well, and where do you feel you could have done better?
So, ever since I've started my position as a setter, where I play the position that handles setting the ball in this fashion to my teammates. So that revolves around improving my passing, my serving, and my setting skills. Something I've considered as my room for improvements are my blocking and my hitting. Due to my strong stature of 5'4", I don't hit or block as well as other brethren. So that's something I'm hoping to continue improving by increasing my vertical and also in general just being healthier and losing weight. So then
Mm.
there's less weight to have to jump into the air for.
But the thing is, I feel like that's what makes a team. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and all together we make that great team, that chemistry. So I feel
Agreed.
like even if we have that weakness that we want to work on, we always have someone to help us out. So shout out to those volleyball teams out there. So how do you foster team chemistry and a positive team culture?
Well, with respect to our district volleyball tournament for the local Anne Arundel, the way we foster a great team dynamic and chemistry is to just be a very welcoming and open type of culture for the way we run our volleyball program. So if brethren were to watch our games tomorrow, we may not be the strongest team on paper with the undefeated win-loss record, but whatever level our brothers or sisters are at, whether they're just starting or they've been playing for years, everyone has an opportunity to participate and to contribute to whatever outcome happens. So that's something we're really proud of in Anne Arundel, and that's a part of remembering that the sport of volleyball is a team effort. You're only as strong as what the whole team is. No, there is no one player that can help you win just by him or herself.
Mm-hmm. And with players that are starting with a new team, a more experienced team, it can be hard. How do you deal with other players or motivate other players when they struggle or lose confidence?
That's a great question because even for myself, who I've been playing for years now, it's something I need to remind myself too with maintaining a good mentality, even though you may not be performing as well as you'd like on a particular day. So just remembering that each play, what even if the other team scores a point, it's just a single point out of 25. And even if you don't win that particular set, it's still a best of three. It's still a best of five. So knowing the mentality of okay, let's go to the next play, that's something that you'll find in teams that are very strong in terms of their mental strength and their team chemistry.
Hmm. And what's your mindset like when, because there are always good days, better days, and also not so good days. How do you deal with those days that aren't so good for your team?
When it comes to those days, especially as the setter, since you're very involved, if I'm having a bad day, it's important to just communicate that with your team and to have that type of encouragement. So thankfully, the team members I've played on in Anne Arundel and even prior with Washington D.C., we would be very supportive of each other, even though mistakes would be made because no one's perfect
Mm-hmm.
and everyone always has room to improve in some way. And there's just some days that you're just not clicking sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why you're on a team of six, so that the other five people on your team can lift each other up and get that win.
Great answer. And for our last question this morning, what values do you prioritize in your sportsmanship?
I would say that over my years of being involved here in this wonderful district, I've learned that making sure that the outcome is not the priority and it's not the number one thing that you have to think about. So it's not all about winning, and that's a lesson that I've learned throughout my experience playing for Washington D.C. for the regional team, having the honor to represent our district, coming in second place almost every year that I've played a tournament. And when I look back, my most memorable and most fond moments are the memories or the journey leading up to that point. Not necessarily the outcome, but just seeing the joy that others have, especially when, particularly for our program here in Anne Arundel, there are a lot of new players, and just seeing their joy, seeing that passion start to build within them. I see a version of myself back when I started, and you don't want to discourage that passion from growing over time, because we want brethren to not only improve and enjoy this hobby, because this will lead to more opportunities to get to know them, to promote that love of the brotherhood that we have for our church.
Wow, that was a great answer, Brother Marvin. Wow. Wow. Great answer. I love that. And
Thanks.
before we let you go, do you have any special greetings?
Yeah, so I'd like to send a special shout out to my wonderful family in the District of Washington State. I miss all of you. I love you, Mom and Dad. Love you, my brothers and my sister. Shout out to the local congregation of Anne Arundel here in the District of Washington, D.C. And shout out to my significant other, Sister Naidali Bara.
Thank you, Brother Marvin, for joining us again. Shout out to everyone. And now, thanks for all the shout outs and greetings in our YouTube chat. So now let's check them out. We have Sister Amelia Salazar, belated happy birthday, Brother June Simon, #Temple Hills. We have Sister Grace Galarpe, happy wedding anniversary to my children, Mr. Carl and Mrs. Jessica Galarpe at London, Canada. See you soon, #Anne Arundel. Sister Sita Velasco, happy birthday po, Sister Findigala, #Baltimore. Sister Grace also said, happy birthday to my niece, Catherine of Cagayan de Oro City, #Anne Arundel. And we also have some answers here in our chat from our questions. Brother Justin Talioga, he said, I played for a couple years in college, and now I play every Monday for work. Sister Nidell, I like high knees, LOL. Brother Justin also said, I like doing arm circles, good shoulder warm up. And Sister Grace also said, every team is already a winner. Correct. #Anne Arundel. Sister Kristen Yumo said, I would love to try pickleball. Ooh, that's a nice sport to try. I want to try that as well. And thank you again for those tuning in. And now for our CFO in action, let's check out our recent district activities. Let's watch it.
On November 17, 2024, the District of Washington, D.C. Mid-Atlantic held a district track and field event where brethren from all ages, from the members of the Children's Worship Service to the Book Club parents, raced in several running events. From sprinting as fast as they could in a 100-meter dash to walking a leisurely stroll on a walkathon. Everyone enjoyed the energy-filled event as brethren from every local congregation joined together in unity.
That was such a great activity. I really enjoyed that. And I saw in everyone's faces that they also enjoyed that activity. And for our upcoming activities, we have the ELO film showing today. And tomorrow we have our district of volleyball. So we'll see you there today and tomorrow. For more details, you can just text me. And for our show next week, tune in on INCRadio Washington, D.C. as our panelists show how deeply they cherish their connection, hear what they've learned from one another, and how their bond continues to grow stronger with each passing day. It's an inspiring conversation you won't want to miss. And remember, to those tuning in, our new show time is 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That is every Saturday. I repeat, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time every Saturday. And following us today is INCRadio Florida at 9:30 a.m. That's different. Wait, no. Scratch that. We'll change that. Okay. And special thanks to their unstoppable support. We'd like to thank our INCRadio Washington, D.C. family for supporting our broadcast, especially to our Subsea president, Brother Angelo Manalo. And of course, a very special greeting to our Executive Minister of Iglesianicristo, Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you for tuning into INCRadio Washington, D.C. Satellite Studio. Stay unstoppable. And the next show is New Jersey. Bye. See you next week.
Kilala at makakwentuhan. Alamin ang kanilang mga latest activities. Mga angking talento. At inspiring stories. Mula sa mga kapatid nating nasa Scan International sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Ito ang Scan in Action.
Before and after I eat, I wash my hands. Here is how my mom taught me to do. First, wet your hands with clean running water and apply soap. Then lather your hands by rubbing them together with soap. Scrub your hands between your fingers and under your nails. Scrub your hands for approximately 30 seconds. Rinse your hands under clean running warm water. And dry your hands using a clean towel or hair dried them. Hello, I'm Sister Lillian Talons, and here's how I brush my teeth as my mom taught me. Brushing your teeth after every meal or at least twice a day is another hygiene habit that everyone should have. Brushing your teeth is an important part of your dental care routine and help to prevent gum disease. Hi, I'm Katie Natividad. My mom taught me that before going to bed and after waking up in the morning, I should wash my face. I comb my hair every day so it always looks good. And I make sure my clothes are clean before I go to bed. Good night.
But it is right to show kindness.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.